right. Let's see. All right, so today I'm going to be modeling a backpack from the Clone Wars TV show. This was requested by somebody who wanted to get a model of it. So it's gonna, it shouldn't take too long. It's a fairly simple backpack to make, but I'm going to be using some fairly basic modeling inside of ZBrush, but using the Booleaning tools to achieve this kind of complex shape. It's not really that complex. Like pretty much all of modeling in Star Wars, it is a lot of kit bashing, but doing this inside of ZBrush is pretty easy actually. And I prefer to do it inside of ZBrush now with their Hardsurface techniques versus doing it in Maya. So I feel like I can achieve a better result. So anyway, it's kind of a weird couple of shapes. Like you got a couple big boxes right here with some small nodules and stuff. So we're going to try to capture as much of that as possible. Since this is supposed to be 3D printed, honestly, the little antenna is probably going to be a separate piece that can fit onto the backpack instead of printing it all together. Just because trying to 3D print that as small as it's going to be, it's just going to snap off. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit difficult. But anyway, so let's go and fire up ZBrush and get going. So for this, honestly, I would recommend you probably go ahead and take a look at my intro to ZBrush video. This is going to be covering mainly Booleaning and just kind of tossing different shapes together. So it's not difficult, but I'm not really going to be going over basic ZBrush stuff here, so you need to watch that video first. So let's go ahead and do ZBrush. Apparently they just released ZBrush 2021, and it looks amazing. Apparently it's got like dynamics and stuff in it where you can put a shirt on a character and have it drape naturally, which is just fan-freaking-tastic. I'm very excited for that. So I'm going to go move this over here to my monitor. And let's just go and get started. So we've got a Polymesh 3D. So there's two main boxes on this model. I'm kind of looking at. They look about the same width. No, maybe not. Maybe this one's just a little bit narrower. So it's got like a cylinder thingy over here. I'm looking at like this shape right here. That's kind of taken up maybe a quarter of the width. So I need that to be a little bit narrower. Something like that. I'm just going to turn on see-through just a little bit. Let's do this. There we go. So I can kind of see through. I can also, if I really wanted to, I could just make this do a background, but I got a lot of pictures I'm going through, so it doesn't make a lot of sense to do that. So actually, you know, I'm just going to move this back over to the other screen. You'll figure it out. All right. Let's go invert that mask. I'm just trying to get kind of basic shape of this thing. It's a weird. Star Wars models are just kind of, in my opinion, just kind of present kind of an odd challenge because they're inherently very busy in terms of detail, but a lot of their detail is just kind of like nonsensical, which I kind of dig. I kind of love that about them. That kind of comes from the fact that when they were doing the original movies, they would just take model kits that they could find of old like battleships. This is what I've heard from my ILM veterans and stuff when they talk about this. But they would just take old battleship, well, really any model kits they could find. I know they used a lot of old battleships to get the scale. They kind of just threw shit together just as much as they could. Okay. I can't tell if this piece is circular or squared off that goes like right here. So I'm just going to go and make a little call and just say it's probably circular. So I'm going to grab this. I want to go and subdivide that a couple times just to smooth it out. And I'm also going to go ahead and trim this. It's telling me that I can't do that, which I always forget to do. Delete my subdivision levels. Trim it. There we go. Nice, smooth, cylindrical shape. Okay. So that's going to be kind of the core of that cylinder. I'm going to go ahead and make a duplicate of it. That's going to go up to here. Actually, let's go ahead and split off this into a new subtool. So I'm going to go split mask points. So I'm going to take that. And I need this to be narrow. So I'm just going to duplicate this a couple times. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I got too many. That's fine. I'm going to use this one anyways. Let's go ahead and make it just a little bit thicker. I'm going to duplicate again. Shrink it in just a little bit. And then there's a little bit of a taper, it looks like. I'm going to go to my transforms taper. Just taper that in. Straighten that taper. There we go, just like that. Switch over to this. There we go. So I'm kind of mimicking that shape that I see. And honestly, I'm seeing shadowing in that little cylinder shape. So I kind of wonder if it's like a bundle of things. I wonder if it is, though. That would kind of be cool. So let's maybe just, I don't know. Honestly, I really don't. I'm just looking at some images that were sent to me. But that would be kind of interesting if it was. So why not? Let's go with it. Make it more interesting to look at. Bring that out. So I'll just make like a little bundle right there. See? Something like that. That's kind of cool. Yeah, that'll work. All right, so I'm going to cap it off with another cylinder. This one right there. Just go ahead and center that. looks like it tapers out. I can't tell really what it's doing, but it looks like it tapers out. Almost kind of similar to this. So I'm going to go and bring it in. Okay. Go with that. Accept. All right. And then another cylinder. Get you over here. There we go. There we go. Something like that, just to kind of cap off that crease. So that will look good. This will need to move down just a bit. So move that down to roughly right there. And make it a little bit thicker. Switch over to this. Stretch it out. There we go. Okay, sorry. Kind of move this in. Stretch this out just a little bit. Just gonna take a little bit more room. And that's looks about close enough to me. Okay. There is a cylinder where the antenna pops out on this side. Looks like there's two mounts right there. There's probably some fins or something on this. There's always fins. They love their fins. Okay, so we're just going to go and do that. So, doing the cylinder. Okay. Cut off the top and bottom. Move it here, shrink it down. Longer. Thinner. Sorry if I sound a bit sick. I am sick, so not terribly feeling too great, but yeah. Okay. So that can work. I'm gonna make a duplicate of this. What are we doing? I'm just stretching it around. Okay. There we go. There we go. So these will be the mounting brackets. Something like that. Two of these. There's one right here. So it needs to be a little bit thinner. There's another one right here. this little piece. What is the topology looking like? Oh yeah, no, it's, yeah, the topology's wonky. Let's go ahead and I'm going to polygroup it, just auto group it, and then I'm going to go and take this one, split it off into its own piece. Skip by groups. Okay. Yeah, kind of wanted like these two to be button, to be in their own groups. I'm just going to merge them out together. Take this. I'd like to redo the geometry, so we're going to do the Dynamesh. There we go. So it's just kind of nice and tessellated right now. And then I'm going to take this piece, masking it off, bringing it out, bringing it down. So something like that. This piece right here. It's going to go out again. And then we're going to go and tell it to taper. Which I kind of would like it to not do that. It's tapering it from the top. So what I need to do, let me undo this. I need to taper this from the top actually. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and mask off that, invert it, soften that mask quite a bit. And then this is an older technique. And just kind of bring it in like that. So something like that. And then we're going to go over to these guys again, mask one off, bring it up. And then we're going to go right here. There we go. It's a little phallic now, but whatever. Some detailing right in here. So let's go ahead and make another one of these. So we got a little bit of something going on there. Here. Just change the diameter just a little bit. Bring it down. There's like, I mean, there's just like a lot of little detail that I can't see because what I'm looking at is just screen grabs. And I honestly have no idea what this thing's even like called because I know there's probably a name for it. I have no idea, so I'm just going to make up some details as we go along. So I think that'll work. Okay. There's a half-cylinder knob sitting on the top right here. Again, I have no idea what that's for, but we're going to make it. Same idea as before. So let's go ahead and do a append cylinder. Let's go ahead and go to geometry, divide, divide, divide. delete. And I'm going to shrink it down. And then there's some, now I'm kind of working with this. I'm kind of seeing some proportional issues, I think, with my backpack that will probably need to be fixed eventually, but yeah, we'll see how we go. Okay. So anyway, let's do the ribbing right here. And you'll notice one thing I am not doing is I am not dynameshing these individual pieces together. The reason why is because I want to be able to go in and edit these. Because I will find that there are problems or details that I missed on this model as I'm moving through it. So you want to make sure that you don't, because if you dynamesh, you kind of sort of work yourself into a corner. And I'm not a fan of that. I used to do it, and it was not fun when I thought I knew what I was doing. Not to say I know what I'm doing now. I have no clue what the hell I'm doing now. All right, let's insert a sphere. This will be like the half sphere. There we go, something like that. And I'm going to go ahead and cut off half. That's Control Shift, by the way, if you're not familiar with trimming. Okay, so something like that. So now we got this piece. Right below it looks like a water bottle. It's a white thing right here. So I'm going to go ahead and take another cylinder. A lot of cylinders in this, as I'm noticing. And divide. I am not going to trim this one like I had before, because I like for it to be rounded. So it gets buried, like sunk about halfway in. Honestly, as I'm going through this reminds me a lot of the Sand Trooper packs, which is what I'm assuming this is based off of. Kind of a 2-box design or whatever. So, there's a pill capsule shape that I can use. It'll be nice and useful. Let's go into the lower. Don't need all of that, so I'm just going to go and rotate this to 90. Go down. And then this is going to be sunken in about halfway. Something like that. Bring it up just a little bit more. Something like that. I think it'll work. Maybe just going to divide it a little bit. Smooth it out. So I'm going to do a insert cube. Looks like there's a couple of boxes or something that are, come on, there we go. Like a couple of boxes that are kind of sitting on the surface of this. So let's go ahead and take that. Go kind of like right up against this. Looks like they're about half the height of the model thing. So something like that. So we'll place them right up there. Pull them out just a little bit. And then there is another one that is sitting right on the surface, right here. I think it's got two little dots on it, like they're lights or something. I don't know. We'll put that detail right there. And bring that down. Okay. So what I'm going to do, so I want to duplicate this and bring it down. Let me, hang on. Bring those down just a little bit. Center just a little bit more. So I want to take this little tiny panel piece and bring it down just a little bit. Bring it down on this other panel. So what would be the best way for me to do it? What I can do is maybe grab that panel, duplicate that, move that down, control click, grab the buttons, and move them down. It's probably a better way to do that, but that's what I'm working with so far. I think there's some inset spaces. This is where we're going to be getting into the Boolean part. I think there's some inset parts, cavities and stuff that are inside, making like a hollow space. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on my Boolean, and I'll just go up to the first piece right here. Just going to tell that to start. Go here, tell this to cut. And so what you'll see is it basically will just like subtract. But I want it to subtract everything, so we're just going to cut just a little bit. Looks fairly even. And we're going to go ahead and do append. We're going to do some details and stuff in here, some greebling. So I'm going to go and grab another cylinder. It's going to be really small. just gonna fit that in there. And then shrink that down. There. Take this down to here. It kind of sort of looks like a barbell, to be honest. Let me shrink that down just a little bit. There we go. I think there's probably like a little bit like a detail in here. So we're just going to add that detail right there. There we go. Maybe divide that just a little bit. Makes it nice and smooth. And then also I'm going to run a clay polish real quick to kind of tighten up some of those edges. Okay. I think that covers the main detailing for the top box with the backpack. So that kind of works. So I'm going to do the bottom part. Just do the pinned. Just save it real quick. The pinned cylinder. So there's another cylinder right here I'm going to do as well. It's going to be very similar to this in terms of just kind of just general structure. More. All right. So I think that's pretty close. A backpack shape. I'm going to go back down, and there's some, again, boxes that kind of stick out, looks like. A lot long, but you get the idea. There's two of them. I'm going to take up about half that space down on the bottom, just looking at kind of the proportions. A little crooked to me. Okay, there we go. All right, so 1 and 2. And then there's going to be one with a red button, I guess, in there. And then let's see if there's another square or cube or something that's going on like right over here. I don't know. Whatever. All right. Looks like there's 2 canisters that are sitting off to the side. So we're going to go ahead and create that shape. Just do the pen, cube. And we will go ahead and create this. It'll be pretty easy. It's kind of like like it's clamping or something. You'll see it's kind of like just slightly angled. So actually, two ways we could do this. One, we could trim it. Two, we could Boolean it. I think the Booleaning might just be a little bit more interesting. So let's go and do that. Let's go ahead and taper. And then we will basically take, okay, so we're doing kind of that. And I'm not necessarily wanting them to taper on all sides. We're just going to taper on this angle. And then just going to accept it. Do it pinned. Another cube. This will be my cutter. Angle it to about the same angle as the two clamps. And so I'm just going to kind of take it out to about there. And then also go ahead and make another piece. So something like that. I haven't given it to him in a long time, so yeah, I would say it's probably safe. All right. Oh, sorry, I had to step out for a second. So we're just going to tell this to cut. So anyway, that's going to be the shape that we're getting. I'm going to leave it a little bit chunkier right there. For this thing being as small as it's going to be printing, I find it's just a little bit easier to make these shapes just a little bit chunky. It prints better. The strength of the material ends up going up a little bit more. It just works a little bit better for us. So, all right. Just a little bit thinner. And there's the canister. So it kind of just looks like, I don't know, like Gatorade bottles or something. So I'm just going to go to append. And I'm going to go make this divided a couple times. Leave lower. Tapering will be the most obvious choice. So we can just go ahead and actually I'm just going to duplicate the subtool, bring it up. Let's do taper again. Get up like that. I mean, this is purposely too big, but you'll get the idea. So accept it, make a duplicate, flip it over to 180. Oh, if you hold down shift, it'll snap it and it works really well. Okay. Merge down. So it's one piece. And then I'm going to go ahead and shrink this down. about, I think it's about 15 degrees. Maybe a little bit less. Fit it in there. Shrink it down some more. Because I need to get 2 of these. I'm going to shrink it down a little bit more. It's going to stretch it. Just stretching it out. I think that'll work. That's going to give me what I want. Okay. There we go. That'll fit. That'll fit real nicely. So it may actually be just a little bit too small. Just going to make it a little bit bigger. Maybe something like that. We can actually, let's take these guys. I'm actually going to thin out, just give a little more space right there. So you see a little bit more of the canister. And then I need to actually select this box, which can be difficult because they're actually the same polygroups. Let me just redo the polygroups. Autogroups, there we go. Bring this in a little bit more. So tool, just cut. That looks good. I like that a lot. All right. I think that might be it. Just going over the pictures right now to see if there's anything I'm missing. I think there might be like a box or something that goes in here. Can't really tell, but you know what? Let's just throw some more greebling shit in here and see what it looks like. So sure, why not? Okay. So throw another one. Just put that down in there. And I kind of want to stack it a little bit. So it's not going to be going as far down as the cut, but it does not exceed the cavity. If that makes any sense. I'm just going to control it. And then I'm going to go and shrink this one. And bring it out just a little. So it's just kind of stair stepping just a tiny, tiny bit. And we'll just kind of bring this up. I don't honestly know what the heck this is going to be. I always advocate, you know, making like backstories up for things. I don't know. I don't really know what kind of backstory I have with any of this. All right, I'm gonna do another cube. This is going to be kind of the cutter from that back plate, just to kind of beautify everything a bit. So it's all just one flat piece. I'll just leave it like that. And then the antenna, I need to attach this. I need to come up with actually a couple brackets of stuff that isn't like more likely to snap off or whatever. So let me do just a couple of cubes. That's all it is. Just really, really small pieces. Yeah, it's like this backpack is gonna be printed like super duper small. Maybe just like, a couple inches, maybe like an inch to 2 inches tall. It's really, really tiny. So that'll need to be right there. Let's do it right there. Let's do another one just to kind of reinforce it. Last thing I want is like this stuff like snapping off mid-print. See? So it's not really something you'll notice, but at least it'll keep your parts a little bit easier to work with. But anyway, there's the backpack. I still need to work. I need to do the antenna. So let's just go ahead and make another cylinder. Honestly, someone mentioned this, and I thought it was a really good idea. The antenna, you could honestly do almost like a piece of guitar string wire, and that would probably work. Because something at this scale just would snap off immediately. So what I'm going to do is make a hole, a little cavity area for someone, whoever buys this or whatever, um, they can take, they can take a piece of wire or something, just stick it down in there and glue it in. So we'll just make it kind of small. Duplicate that. So there's a little bit of like a build up to this. So okay. All right. But you know what? Got that. So why don't we just go ahead and just model the damn thing? So I'm just gonna make it just ever so slightly smaller so it'll fit in. And then we will take this. It looks like there's like a little thicker section in there, and then there is a thin section. And it just gets thinner. As it goes up, maybe like a telescopes or something, I don't know. Probably will break off immediately. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But at least it's here. But it's a good idea though. I mean, like just make it, removable so if someone breaks theirs, they can just take it out and, do something else they want. So there we go. Nice, nice long antenna. So that'll basically slide down right into there. And that'll be it. Okay. So I'm gonna go and save this project. Stormtrooper pack 1. I think it works. So what I need to do is just basically run a Boolean on everything to get it to come together as one contiguous mesh. The reason why I do that is when I print it, if I have multiple objects intersecting each other, they are going to create cavities. And so I don't really want that, so I need to make sure this is all one piece instead of just a bunch of objects shoved into each other. Now, if you're doing this for like animation or something, like it gets kind of interesting because if I was going to, texture this, it's not an animating surface, so it's going to have like a lot of quads and tries. So it's okay to texture this. Like if you look at any of my props, I kind of follow this approach. So the topology kind of sucks. Like just flat out just sucks. But it gives me what I want. And for 3D printing, since this is the main point, it really doesn't matter kind of what the topology looks like, just as long as it works. And I don't have intersecting faces. So there's the mesh. So if we go and turn this on, you'll see how it subdivides. There we go. Did not mean to add that, so I'm just going to split the parts, make sure it all splits properly. Yep. So we got the backpack, we got the antenna. We're good to go. Okay. So let's go ahead and delete this one. And I'm at about 739,000 faces. Depending on how strong your computer is, that might be a bit heavy to import into a slicer. So, if my model is unnaturally heavy, like in terms of like topology, like right here is pretty heavy, but it really doesn't need to be, I can go under Z plugins, decimation, pre-process it, and basically it'll go in and clean up areas that can be kind of brought down in terms of their face count. So, but 739,000 is really not that heavy in general. I'm just kind of using that as an example. If it was like 20 million, I would really want to bring that down. So 739,000 brought down to 147,000. That's much better. So you just want to go around after decimation runs, make sure that it didn't fuck up something, because it sometimes does. That looks good. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and take this model, export, pack. I'm just going to call it pack body. And then I'm going to export this antenna. So they're just two separate models. You print out, however many of these you need. And that's pretty much it. Do whatever you want with it. All right. Have a good one, guys.